Hey, hey. What is cracking, you guys? You know me, tinkering, messing around with some things. How's everyone doing today? What's cracking? Where are my comments? There's my comments. Trying to get everything all tidied up. Today's Tuesday, day 51. That's exciting. Hey, girl, hey. How are you doing? How's Bailey? Let's see. All right, let's see. This sound all right? Seems like it sounds okay. I don't think I resolved the droopy camera. And Angie again said today that there is nothing wrong with her camera or her tripod. So we're going to leave that at that. I did secure the mount to the desk a little bit better, the microphone mount to the desk a little bit better than. Now I just have to finagle this so that I'm not leaning into it. I feel like I'm not all right, I think this is okay. I hope this is okay. The microphone arm is definitely more secure. I was shoving it in there. I was trying to figure out some better placement. Totally different than my LP arm. They changed it a lot. And so, I don't know why. But anyway. So. And I tried to fix, I don't know, I don't want to touch the camera. That's how I feel about that. I do not want to touch the camera. I'm trying to keep myself centered. Also, you guys know the chair sags. So it's I feel like if I move too much, something's going to fall. Whether it's the camera, whether it's me, or the microphone. So I feel like I have to be like a statue. But that's all right. What's cracking? What is poppin'? Hey girl, hey. All right, cool. So definitely keep us posted with Bailey. We want to make sure we know what is happening. I'm gonna let the music fade out on its own. I feel like I'm extra stiff. That's all right. Anyway, we'll see if they sag in sync. No one, this is true. This is true. If the chair sags in sync and if the microphone and camera all kind of sag simultaneously, then that's okay. It's a win. But if it happens the way it happened yesterday, then I don't know. So anyway, what is cracking, you guys? Yesterday was a really good session. I know Kevin was super engaged, and then that made me go in. I cleaned up more of the OVO pipeline. I'm sure you guys saw the post that I did in both Let's Get Live as well as in the eCam group. So this Thursday will be the very first weekly mini masterclass with a focus on the eCam plugin, right? So we're going to go over the most popular buttons that I use for eCam, like hiding overlays, switching scenes, choosing specific scenes. So there'll be a focus on that. Then we're going to do customization. We're going to do probably the Zoom plugin, the most popular plugin for the Stream Deck. And then a bonus. So that's going to run every Thursday till the 28th. So every Thursday for a month. And it has been finalized. I'm going to send Katie an outline for Stream Deck Day because the 5-year anniversary is coming up for the Stream Deck. So that's exciting. Oh, I just kicked the camera. Do you notice how I lower my voice, afraid that if I talk louder, the camera's going to fall? So it's oh, let me whisper. Because whispering somehow is going to stop the camera from sagging. Um, my perfectionism is driving me crazy right now. And now I feel like the lights are like really orangey. What do you guys think about that? I think like the lighting, I don't know what's happening here. And probably because I don't have any other lighting offsetting. So now it's kind of like extra. And what's happening here? I'm waiting for the control center. Oh, okay, there it is. So we switch this. That's a little bit better. Let me see. So this is at, I feel like, see that I feel like is too, that's what I started to tell you yesterday when I was talking about this. So I actually at home, I use a LUT, and I was talking to Evie and Kendra Lose about this last month. So like Marshall Marshall Fox. Why did I say Marshall Mathers? Isn't that Eminem? What's wrong with me? Oh, and I don't have my sound effects. Darn it. Why? Oh, that was a dun-dun-dun moment. Marshall Fox has his own LUTs. I actually got a free LUT pack from a company called Editor's Keys. They do a lot of videos like on LumaFusion and stuff like that. And the reason why I started using a LUT was because when I was using green screen, with as many lights as you need to have green screen, that can kind of, especially if they're facing you, right? So I did have one light on each side plus the overhead lights and stuff like that. That can kind of fade you out because you want the brightness really good for the background. And so I was using a LUT to kind of offset all of the lights, and it gave me a little bit more of a natural tone. And you can plug LUTs in the camera settings within Ecamm Live, and you can change the intensity, whether it's 100%, 75, 50%, so on and so forth. So I had started using a LUT when I was using my green screen, and then I incidentally continued to use it. So even at my home studio setup, I continue to use a LUT. The one from Editor's Keys is called Studio Glow, and it just gives me a little bit of a tan, like a natural tan, and it helps to fight off. So you can see that I have some shadows kind of on this side because there's only one light right over here. The light is right there, and I don't have any other light on this side of the room. So I'm sure, and I have it in my iCloud, I'm sure if I were to maybe bring up the brightness a little bit, kind of center the light, and then bring in a LUT, it'd probably look a little bit better, but that's just me being a pain in the butt. But anyway, let us see what is going on, Pirate Broadcast. What is cracking? How are you? Wait, let me get back to my Stream Deck Mobile. Yeah. What's poppin'? Let's see. Don't let the camera hear you. I know. Listen, don't be judging me because I really was like, oh, I kicked the camera. Like I really whispered it like the camera is not an inanimate object that's going to hear me and has feelings and stuff. But anyway, Rich, what's poppin'? How are you doing today, Rich? What's cracking? Jason. Oh, Jason Hodges. Hodges. Did I say that right, Jason? Hodges? I think it's Jason Hodges. I believe so. And is that Facebook user, is that Paul saying, hey, Jason? Probably. Anyway. So like I was saying, yesterday was a good session. I almost pretty much customized the Stream Deck OVO to go out. It's a good amount of sequences. I deleted it had like 8 emails altogether where I was like, all right, this can be kind of spammy. So I went in and I deleted some emails. I customized a handful of them. I did put in some of the email sequences about the giveaway because I'm still doing the giveaway for my masterclass. So once we hit 25 people who have purchased one of the 2 masterclasses, we're going to be giving away a $300 value. And I called it, what did I call it? I don't know. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I think I called it the Stream Deck Level Up Package. I don't know. I came up with a name that I thought was kind of clever, but it is a $300 value. So I included that in the email strings. And what I need to do is I actually need to take, and now because I'm using, now you see all of the brightness because it's using the white light from the screen. So this is just, but that's all right. See, look at how much that changes the brightness. And I want to make sure I'm centered. Anyway, no, so Jason Hodge. There you go. Jason Hodge, not Hodges. Anyway, thank you. So I had promised Kevin yesterday that I was going to go in because we went down the rabbit hole of Kajabi and the settings and the different things. Kevin, do you remember where we left off at? I know that it was maybe with pricing. I told him that I was going to come back and kind of finish off today with some of that stuff. It's going to be short today. It really is. I keep saying that. So I'll be going home on Thursday afternoon because I need to kind of, it's better if I'm home in the studio for the free webinar because I'm going to have different camera angles. So I'm going to have a camera angle with the actual Stream Deck in view of my physical Stream Deck, then have my camera angle just to show what it looks like, and then do kind of a screen share with having the configure Stream Deck menu open. So I'll be home on Thursday. Thursday's going to be super short. We all know what India, you know what? I ain't messing with you. And again, I don't have, this is the sound effect that I have. Or this one. That is, neither of those are good. I do have this one though. But anyway, whatever. Leave me alone. No, for real. It's going to be short today. I promise. I'm trying to think, let me look at this really quick. I know we were looking at something with sales. Do you guys have any questions with the Kajabi site or anything that I went over yesterday? Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show like the different types of products, and I now remembered. So I said that I was going to talk about the different options with like drip settings. So basically you can do a membership. You can also do different things with a subscription based or multiple payment options. So if you wanted to offer that, you can kind of tie the two in hand, where if you're going to do a subscription based model and you have whatever type of content that is, you can drip the content and you can choose the frequency. So do you want the first 5 classes to be released, let's say 1 week at a time or something like that, where you can kind of level that out. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about, I know, I love you too, Evie. What do you guys think about subscription-based models like that, or like dripping content? Because this is like, I know some of the stuff where people have talked about it before. I've been a part of certain conversations where, let's say like for me, right? Like I have a master class. I have the option to do multiple payments. So you can split, let's say, the masterclass in 3 equal payments. You can also do a subscription style, kind of like a community. So it's like, all right, for whatever amount of dollars, a month, whether it's $50, $100, whatever that looks like, $75 a month, I'll give you access to all of my courses. The thought process is that someone goes in and let's say they download all the videos, right? So if you have like my one masterclass, which it's the masterclass by itself, it's $250. The thought process is that if somebody signs up for, let's just use random numbers. I sign up for a subscription-based model at $75. I pay 1 month. And then in that 1 month, I can download all the videos or just like binge on all the videos and cancel the subscription. Or not even 1 month, right? Like a day or something like that, right? It's okay. So did you lose out on money? Or is that a person that bought? I'm interested to hear you guys' feedback. Is that a person that bought and you got $75 that they would have maybe never bought at the $250 level? So what do you guys think about that? What is cracking, Gabe? Gabe says, signed up for the class on Thursday for using a Stream Deck. Very excited to have you on. So that'll be like a Zoom, a very, I don't want to say intimate, but we'll get to see each other's faces and stuff like that. I am going to have my outline. It's going to be a super basic mini masterclass because my full masterclass has over 25 lessons. So it is going to be a focus on Ecamm Live, like I mentioned earlier. And then just talking about like, how do you get free royalty free music from Stream Deck without paying Epidemic Sounds or Artlist, or what's the other one? There's Artlist, Epidemic Sound. There's a third one that's popular. Which is the other one, guys, for music? Audio with two I's. So what is interesting, and I don't know if you guys know, and I just found this out because obviously I did the master class and I was covering my bases, especially with the music, because it is royalty free. It will, if you're using it from the Stream Deck store, you shouldn't be getting copyrights. You just have to link your account so that, YouTube sees that it's royalty free music. Elgato partnered with, I believe it's Storyblocks. They partnered with Storyblocks to get their music. And so that's where their music actually comes from. So I thought that was an interesting fun fact. So we're going to go over that as well. So, what is cracking? How are you today? Thank you for coming through. To me, that person isn't buying a la carte. I also don't feel that the client also isn't your ideal client. I don't feel, yeah, gotcha. Right. So that's how I feel. Like it's kind of, I've toyed in my head. I've toyed around with it because it's okay. What do you have? Right. So even with pricing, I think we all kind of struggle with that about, well, what's the good price point? What's the value you get in it? So for me, I know that my masterclass isn't one of the inexpensive, it's on the higher tier, but I also know the level of how I coach and how I teach and the information that I give to you guys. I also know how I'm available, right? So it's like, if you reach out to me, I'm not going to just kind of blow you off. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday, like in terms of customer service and building lifetime clients. So although my pricing can be considered a little bit higher compared to some others that may have not necessarily the same type of masterclass, but that do have masterclasses, I know the value that I'm bringing into it. And I'm very confident with my price point. But I have struggled with, okay, do I want to do maybe like even with the, not necessarily a subscription based model, but do I want to offer this content on a multiple payment plan and then maybe doing it like on dripping the content? Because again, the thought process is if I gain 5 people and they are able to do it on a multi-payment option versus never gaining those people some money, right? Like it's that really tough spot. Some money is better than no money. But then again, it's like Kevin said, when you're talking about your ideal client, is that the type of client that you really want? You guys know that whoever signed up, everybody here has signed up with the master classes with some sort of coupon or promo or something like that. So, although I have my price, I have offered coupon codes. Like there's the eCamFam coupon code that I created and things to that extent. So it's not like I'm hard on the price or whatever the case may be, but it's that, do I want to do a subscription? Do I want to have this kind of, anyway. So like I said, I was looking at that. Let me see if I go into the settings really quick. I'll bring you over. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's do a screen share. I actually need to bring this in. So I got to switch the window that this shows up on. So let me switch this here. And let's do a screen share. Yes. And all right, it looks like you guys can see my whole screen. Let me just take a look. Domain. So let me bring this up a little bit. Let's see, because I want you to be able to see at least the bottom. What's happening here? Bring this up. There you are. And now it looks like, yeah, right there. Let's see. Okay, cool. So now you're seeing, it looks like everything. Just about. So these are the Kajabi settings in the background. Gabe says, I like coupons. Are they double coupons? No, so you can't apply double coupons on there, but I like coupons too. Like I'm like, and so, okay, so here's another thing with pricing. Let's talk about that with a discount since we're all talking all things pricing and discounts and stuff like that. Kajabi, when you do your coupon codes, as a business owner and as someone who has content on there, you can do one of two formats. You can do a percentage off or you can do a flat dollar amount off. And so I struggled with that when I built out certain coupons because it was like, all right, so do I do a dollar amount off? Like what's going to be more enticing for the person? So I know for me personally, hey girl, hey, look at my homegirl, Jackie. What's cracking? How you doing, Jackie? So for me, although you guys be making fun of me because you say my maths doesn't maths, whatever you guys. I do maths. I just need a calculator sometimes, or I got to take my time. But I am analytical. It's not just about the maths. I am analytical to the extent that I will take if it's a percent off and I'll do those calculations. And here's where you if you do a percent off versus a specific dollar amount off, then if it's a more expensive item or service, right? We'll say a higher priced item, whether tangible or not, you'll probably benefit better from the percent off, right? Because as the price goes up, then that discount in the percentage will naturally go up. Where if it's a fixed number, once you get to a certain point, that fixed number, even no matter how expensive that product is, that fixed number, then the percentage actually becomes smaller and smaller. Let me know if that makes sense. So where someone would benefit from a specific set price off is if the product is priced on a lower end. So let's just compare, right? $50 off. Let's say it's a $50 off coupon if we're talking about my products, where I have a product at $297 and then I have a secondary product at $249. So if it's a $50 off coupon versus 15% off, right? At the higher, the class at $297, 15% off is actually going to give you a bigger discount. However, for the lesser expensive class, the $249, the $50 coupon you'll actually get more off of. Does that make sense? Because I know that my dad used to tell me all the time, you complicate things more than what they need to be complicated. So let me know if that made sense. Kevin says, I think that boils down to the price you are willing to take. And at that point, which number looks more appealing, the percent or the flat amount? I agree, right? But then that's a thing. Like when you look at people like as a whole, Jackie says, very true, an avid shopper percentages, right? And that's because, Jackie, see, that's the thing. Percentages are definitely better. And that's because obviously we're shopping, we're looking for a deal. We're pulling out our coupon. Okay, 30% off of, so 30% off of 100 is $30, but 30% off of that same 30% off of $200 is $60. If you're giving me a $30 off dollar amount, on $100 it's going to be the same. However, I'm losing money as the product gets more expensive or as I add more to my cart. I want you to give me the percent off. So for me, how I've led with my coupons is that I have led with the percentage off because I think that it adds a better value. But I just feel like sometimes people will hear numbers and it's like, oh my God, it's $50 off. That's such a great deal. I don't know. This is what goes on in my head. So that's why I'm asking you guys what you guys think. Kevin says, I always, and he emphasized always, crunch numbers. Maybe I'm not normal in that sense. Well, it seems like us here probably may be the normal people because it seems like everyone here, we're all saying, listen, the percentage is better. But I have spoken with people where they've said, the flat dollar amount, it may be a better, not that it's a better deal, but it may be more enticing to people. So like I said, I was interested to hear your feedbacks. Paul says, sign up today and I will get you a $1 off coupon. Leave it to Paul. He has an affiliate link. So Paul will absolutely get you that $1 off coupon. Evie says, normal is boring. I agree with you. Normal is boring. But I say that because I'm doing the eCam mini class, right? So Gabe, you'll get a sneak peek doing the eCam mini class. And then of course it's going to lead up to the value in it is hopefully the intention is that people take the free class. You see how I teach, you see the dedication, how I explain things. And then it's okay. Here's the opportunity. Now buy all 25 courses so that you can get the full value. And so I did offer a discount. So that's one of the things. And Gabe, that's why I made sure to tell you, make sure you register so that you can be a part of the string of emails. So you can get that coupon code. So if it's something that you did want to do, you'll take advantage. And I actually did a flat amount today. So for the eCam on Deck masterclass, the people that sign up for that, it is a flat discount, dollar amount off that I'm offering. And I did the math and I was like, all right, so it's not a big difference between the percentages of what I would have offered versus the dollar amount, but I was trying that out. And so that's something we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So Evie says, I do round numbers on principle now. So what do you mean? Because people also say like 297 or, so like my class is 297 because that was another thing where people are like, oh, make sure you hit it's something with, what is it? Like the psychology. And I'm sure you probably have tons of info or tons of opinions and feedback on that, Evie, from even from you and the NLP stuff that you take, or like $249.99 or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? So anyway, see the whole 7 end. So right, $297 exactly. Everyone knows it's a marketing shtick and turning a blind eye to it. So I agree with you. So it's so funny you say that, right? Because it's even when I was looking at this for me brings it full circle back to what I was saying about building out the OVO campaign in Kajabi, where it was 8 emails. And then I was reading the language and I've gotten emails, not necessarily from you, Evie, but from other people. And it's they may not necessarily really change. I pretty much completely changed the language in the body of the emails for me. But I also went in and like I said, it was 8. It was actually 9. Kajabi had a sequence of 9 different emails to go out between when the person registers for the event, leading into the event, the day of the event, the day after the event, and then it's 2 days after, 3 days after, 4 days. And I was like, oh my God, I have to delete some of these. So I did leave the ones before the event, especially because we're so close to the event, because I just finished building it out for the most part this morning, that they're not going to get all of those because I'm only 2 days before the event. So they're technically going to only get the day before or whatever. But then after the fact, I think I deleted 2 or 3 emails that I think after the event. One of the emails that's going to be sent out is, again, the promo code and explaining what we just did. Another email, because what I'm going to do is, although it's a pre-recorded session it's a live Zoom webinar that I will be recording. That's a better way to explain it. A live Zoom webinar that will be recorded. Once that finishes converting and saving to my computer, I'm actually going to upload it to my YouTube channel under an unlisted link. And so for the people who registered, or if they registered and they showed up and they want the replay, or the people who just didn't show up but they registered, they can at least get access to it. And so I'm going to host it under an unlisted video on my YouTube channel. And you guys know that with the processing and things like that, that takes time. So I wanted to make sure that I have, the emails to separate it for that kind of stuff. But just going back to what Evie said about it being a marketing shtick, and people know that, it's all right, Listen, because for me, and this may be the actual salesperson for me from being a loan officer and being in an actual brick and mortar environment, that when I had like pre-pandemic, I had customers physically in front of me. It was like, listen, you got to ask for the sale. You have to ask for the sale. You have them that one time and they're either going to buy or not. There's a very small chance that they may come back to you. And I absolutely do believe in staying top of mind, because out of sight is out of mind. So I am a believer in that. But if you're not asking for the sale immediately, and if you didn't do a good job right there, you're probably not going to get the sale anyway. So I'd love to hear your opinions on that. But that is for me, from my personal experience as a salesperson in brick and mortar stores. You got to do a good job up front. And that's all like qualifying your customer. That's all like really giving them the value that they need, so that once your sales pitch is over, whatever that sales pitch looks like, it's damn near impossible for them to say no. And it could be that if they come back, maybe because initially they didn't have whatever the funding was. So it's like, hey, look, I really like this product, right? Like, or even like with me as a mortgage, hey, I really loved how you taught. And Jackie can attest to that, because Jackie and I work together in the mortgage world. She's an executive director for one of the nonprofit agencies that I partner with. So I actually conduct the first time homebuyer seminars for her clients. So I do have those circumstances where I conduct the first time homebuyer seminars. I ask for the sale, but the client may not literally be ready, but then they'll come back to me in 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line. That's a little bit different. But if they're ready right now and they just choose not to go with you, that's either, like Kevin said, maybe not your ideal client, or you didn't do a good enough job of asking for the sale and what that looks like as a whole. So let me check in on you guys. Let's see. It used to work. Now it's a new normal. Like you stop seeing Facebook advertising. Same thing. Got it. You never know what works till you try. I agree, Paul. That's why I was like, all right, so let me try this different, right? Because what will it hurt? It either works or it doesn't. And I kept the discount, what the discount would be, percentages, dollar amount. For the most part, they're kind of right in line there. K-Walk, what's cracking, girl? Yeah. How are you doing? All of my emails are handwritten, right? So it comes from you. Evie says, what often happens is people get added to the general emails list right away, and then get those at the same time often turns into email inbox crap show. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yes, 100%. Hey, Tech Troublemaker, what's up? Yeah. How are you doing? Thank you for coming through. Yeah, that's it, man. We are now 51 days in. We are past the halfway mark, so I'm excited. Evie says, working on getting better at asking for the sale. And I'm terrible at selling. So, okay, so here's the thing. I feel like, and I know I can still do, okay. When it comes to content creation and what I'm doing now as an entrepreneur, I know that there's definitely a learning curve for me to apply what I do as a banker and asking for the sale, or when I was in brick and mortar environments, transitioning that into now like this type of digital service-based selling. I learned asking for the sale when I was working for Radio Shack way back before they went out of business. They had, so as crazy as they were with the companies, and let me just come back to the regular scene for now while we talk about this. As crazy as they were, because they had, you can like see some crazy posts and how they treated their employees and things like that. As crazy as they were, they gave us tons of sales and training and techniques and things like that. So asking for the sale was really important. I learned from working there that if a person enters your store, chances are they're looking for something. Sometimes they may not know necessarily that they're looking for something. So especially like for Radio Shack, the biggest example, like if you were in a Radio Shack in a mall, the statistics at one point was that the men would come to Radio Shack to kill time while the women were out doing whatever they were doing. And so sometimes it was, oh no, I'm just looking, right? But it was my job and me when I had employees under me, to train the employees of, okay, you're just looking, but let's talk. Let's start a conversation. And I think that was the hardest part. Starting the conversation when a person is just looking, because then it's how do you uncover needs? So then you really have to genuinely be personable, to get into a groove and to get into that kind of back and forth conversation without coming off as like a sleazy kind of person. Some visual cues. So it is easier not in the space that we are currently in right now. It is easier when you're dealing with tangible objects, because the minute someone picks up a tangible object, right? So if it's on a shelf and somebody picks up, let's say, a cell phone, they've shown interest, you better go into high tech sales mode right there, because if they picked it up, there's this desire. And so understanding all of those things, really applying those things. And one of my biggest takeaways that now I still use to this day, the term was don't sell from your own pockets. So it's whether it was back in the day, laptops were still super expensive back then. TVs were super expensive. Cameras were expensive, right? Cell phones, things like that. And it was one of those things that getting over that mental block, I guess, or that mental objection of you feeling that like that may be too expensive, or the customer wouldn't want to spend that much. And not necessarily, let's talk about the example, because this will apply to us as well. So not necessarily about, let's say, the laptop, but then all of the add-ons of, okay, so the laptop is, I'm just going to say $500. Well, the customer, depending on if this is their new, and if you ask the right questions, that's the thing, having an engaging conversation. Because if you're asking the right questions and really, we call it peeling the onion, you can position it in a way that it's going to be hard pressed for the person to tell you no. So adding the add-ons, like a laptop bag, like a memory card, like it was back in the day, we used to be able to upgrade the RAM and the hard drive space and things like that, and selling all of those things. So selling from your own pocket, that if a customer came and said, listen, they came with the ad, right? Because back then it was huge with the weekly ads that came out on Sundays, that they'd get their paper. Oh my God, I'm like taking it way back. But they'd come in and say, oh, I see this laptop is on sale. Do you have it in stock? Let me grab it. And people sell from their own pockets. And I feel like a lot of us do that now. So that goes back to like the pricing model, where I struggled with it for my pricing model, because I was like, all right, is this too expensive? Is it not too expensive? And a big part of that was listening to, my friends and my mentors in the community of know your worth and stay firm, right? Like have that, whatever it is. And as long as you know the value that you're truly giving, stay firm from it and don't sell from your own pockets. And then going back to asking for the sale, it's if I really have, idealistically, if I can have a 30-minute discovery call, you tell me everything it is that you're looking to do. And now I can repeat that back to you in a way of, okay, so based off of what you told me, you need some help with this. This is the software you're using. This is the gear that you're using. You're not confident in this, and this. This is how I can help you. And in order to get you to where your end goal is, this is how much it's going to cost. And just sitting with it, right? But basically paraphrasing the information you got from the customer. If you can paraphrase what the customer is looking to do, if you can ask the right questions that they're doing, your client is doing all of the talking, and then you're listening, and then you paraphrase it back to them and say, okay, so I'm going to give you 1, 2, and 3 because this is what you said, correct? And this is what you said you wanted, right? And this is where the end goal you wanted to be. So I'm going to do all of those things for you. This is how much it's going to cost. When would you like to do your first session? When would you like to make your first payment? Where should I send the invoice to? I think it's also having like those hooks. And listen, I'm still new at this from content creation space, but from, a loan officer space, I'd like to say I'm fairly successful. But the biggest point is just sitting with what it is and letting them know this is what you're looking for. I can help you with that, or I already have what it is you're looking for. So when do we start doing business together? So, let's see. Let me check in with you guys. Paul says, there was a recent event. I was getting at least 2+ emails from one group, and it was like they already shared my email with another group, and I started getting multiple emails from them. Paul, I'm going to text you. How recent was this? Because we might be talking about the same group. I'll text you about that later, and we'll see if it is. But I totally get you. All for the same event. Caleb, what's cracking? Caleb, how are you doing? Caleb says, for myself, it's impossible to do a sales pitch. I find it can be difficult to be without the icky feeling. So I feel like some of that stuff really is also selling from your own pockets. I think that if you can have a really good, and then I saw Evie, what she said, right? India just explained how you build rapport with a client, right? So if you can build that rapport and you're getting your client doing all the talking, and you're just asking your exploratory questions, not the yes or no questions, but the open-ended questions of what is it exactly you're looking to do? What is your end game? And however you take notes, whether they're mental notes, whether they're actual notes, and getting them to tell you the ideal result would be, whatever that looks like for them, and, your space as the person who's selling the product. And then just repeating it back in a way that you're literally just paraphrasing what they said, right? And it's even using, right, like those key triggers and those key words of, and so here's one thing I learned recently, I'm getting better with, I still get a little bit of anxiety, is like in my industry as a banker, when the interest rates go up, or if something happens where I quote the client an initial interest rate, but then something happened with whatever it is, for whatever reason it is, I can't approve them for this product because their debt to income ratio is too high. So I have to put them on another product, which then means they're getting not the best interest rate. I still get anxiety about that because it's right. It's like technically it's bad news, but so if it starts with me and I'm feeling that bad news, I'm 100% going to deliver that bad news and send out that vibe. Even if it's over the phone, I'm going to send out that bad news, anxiety kind of deal. So I still can get better at it, but I have absolutely grown in that space of making it seem like it's no sweat, no big deal. I just say, hey, look, I don't have the most ideal news for you. This is kind of where we're at. And it's just, I don't want to say glazing over because that's not fair. And with what I do with the bank, it can also be kind of deceptive practices. So I'm very mindful of that. But you can't make something become, especially if it's a non-factor, right? Like, and what I mean by a non-factor is that if this is what the situation is, and you can't change it, you can't sit in it. You just got to deliver it. And how can you focus on the pros of, okay, so I can still give you a mortgage. I know it's not what you wanted, but I'm still approving you. This is just what the terms that I'm approving you for, or this is how, and Gigi and I went through this, right? I'm not necessarily helping her with her mortgage and what she was looking for because she had something in her mind, but based off of what the economy and what the market was and listening to her, I said, have you ever heard of X, Y, and Z? And let me tell you why you should consider X, Y, and Z. Totally off her radar and not the most ideal situation, but this was the best situation for what it would be for her. And so like people sometimes pussyfoot around those type of circumstances when it's not the most ideal. And so when you're pussyfooting around it as a salesperson or as the person who's asking for the sale, your customer 100% is going to feel that, and it's going to be much harder to ask for the sale and to even close that sale as opposed to, and that's why, and you guys may have heard me say it. I know that I've laughed about it with Angie a few times of don't come to me with the problem, come to me with the solution. So for me, I may have a problem, but I'm not going to come to you with the problem. I'm going to lead with what the solution is. And we're going to very quickly talk about what the problem is, but I'm not going to focus on that problem. I'm going to focus on what the solution is. Because what's important to what do you think? 98% of the people, 97% of the people is the solution is how can I help you? And at the end of the day, people still have a choice. So are they going to still continue to work with you or are they going to go somewhere else? And then that's where that confidence in what you offer and your level of work, you have to stay firm in that, because you will have those people that when you deliver the solution, they will, no matter what you do, hook onto the problem and will say, you know what, then so for me, I'm going to go to X, Y, and Z bank. Okay, no problem. And sometimes I lose customers, right? Like that's just the nature of the beast that we're in. You lose people. There's nothing you could do. And it goes back to like what Kevin said. That may not have been my ideal customer anyway. I want the customer who is going to value that, yep, I came across this problem. I didn't just leave it at there. I did my work to find whatever that solution is. And this is what I'm going to do for you because I value you as a customer. And then you either got to take it or leave it kind of deal, right? So... what would it look like if I could just wave a magic wand and make your dreams happen? Exactly. Right. That is an interesting question, because that's a great question. You know, it's so funny because even with me, with what I do with the bank, right? What would it look like to you if I were to if I can spit it out first, but if I can wave that magic wand and make your dreams happen, what does that look like to you? Right? And what are the customers in my industry? What are they going to say? Well, you get me approved for a mortgage. You get me the best interest rate possible. You make it a seamless and easy process. So you get them to paint that picture. And when you know they paint that picture for you and you start checking off the boxes, well, this is the best interest rate that I can get for you. I got you approved for the mortgage. We got it cleared in 45 days, or I'm on track to get it cleared for 45 days. At that point, it's like, listen, you asked, I delivered. I asked you for exactly what you wanted, and I'm delivering. Then it becomes kind of impossible for them to tell you no. So, perfect to get the client talking. Exactly. Hey, Luis, what is cracking? How you doing? Sean says, interesting. Evie says, I just learned that if I go investment property, I can add 75% of the rental to my annual income. Who taught you that? I feel like that might have been me. Was that me? Was that not me? Yes, you can add 75. So when you're doing, when you get an investment property, what they do is they'll take the market rent, whatever that is, if it's occupied, if it's, they take 75% of that. However, in order for the banks to use it, you have to have it reported on your tax returns under a Schedule C for at least 1 year. So if you are looking, unless you're buying a 2-family property, and we can go down, don't make me go down the rabbit hole of banking, because you guys know that I can talk all about that. Came up chitter-chattering with a local friend. Yes, so you can. But for someone like you that you don't have the investment property yet, and it may be different if you're working with a broker, but then when you're working with a broker, usually you're either going to pay higher fees, you're going to pay higher interest rates and stuff like that. When you're looking at the bigger banks, we follow the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines. And for investment properties, for us to use rental income for investment properties, or any sort of rental income, because it can also be your primary residence. So Evie, this is what a lot of people will do, like out where I'm at, for 2-family homes, because the houses are also expensive out here in New Jersey. And so for the people who can't afford something on their own, to get into home ownership, they'll buy a 2-family or a multifamily. It's still their primary residence. You usually, because it's your primary residence, you can usually still put a very minimal down payment in. And then in order to get you to qualify for that higher purchase price, we're going to take 75% of the rental property, but that's up front. If it's for that you're going to buy an investment straight up, you need a year's worth of reporting on Schedule C as an actual property manager or as a landlord to show on your tax returns in order for the banks that follow Fannie Freddie guidelines. Like I said, that's a whole nother class. But anyway, good. All right, cool. Sorry, guys. I sidetracked. You totally did, but that's okay, because I know that the community loves when I talk about mortgage stuff anyway. So you guys are pretty awesome. So what I was doing was we totally went in a completely different, and it's been 49 minutes. So we're probably going to end it there, because Angie ended up falling asleep with one of the kiddos last night because I went almost 2 hours yesterday. I was like, oh my God. Angie was asleep with one of the kiddos, so I definitely cannot go longer than an hour today. And like I said, doing all that sales talking, we're now at 49 minutes short. So, a dormir, coño. Exactly. Listen, I know. I went on the door and she was sleeping in her son's little twin bed. And you guys, who have kids, that the little beds for the kids are like really small. So, and Angie's taller than me. She was like scrunched up, cuddled up with him. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to kill me. Anyway, well, I'm going to end it there. I'm not even going to go back to my Kajabi. We're going to end it there. Hi, Dr. Elo. ¿Qué lo que? What's cracking? I've been meaning to text you because I finally upgraded. I was talking about this yesterday because I finally upgraded my Kajabi account because my 2 months free are over. So now I can add in more products. So you and I can and now that I recorded everything for the Stream Deck, we can really start planning out everything because Dr. Elo and I are going to do Ecamm en Español masterclass. So we're actually very excited. It's something that we've been talking about probably almost 2 years now. It's definitely a year and a half. Something that we've been partnering and thinking about. Absolutely his idea. I'm not even going to say my idea. Absolutely his idea. He's been encouraging me and has stayed on top of it and has also given me space and grace to let me do my own thing. But baby steps, because it turned into an idea. It was an idea where he started off, or like, just an idea that he kicked around. And then we had a few different phone calls, and then I finally signed up for Kajabi, and we were going to do it sooner. But then what I found out, kind of like I mentioned yesterday, was that with the starter package, you can only have 3 products. And because I used it for the Stream Deck Masterclass and my coaching, it made me put the Ecamm en Español as a draft. So now that I upgraded literally on the 23rd, I can now do 15 products. And so now we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. That may not apply to a lot of people here. You guys, maybe Louis, but we're going to do Ecamm en Español. So we're actually very excited for that, get that up and running and kind of add just to our plates. So, because this is how we have to do it. Because if I don't put on the music, we're not going nowhere. So the music is up. I'm going to end the stream. We are on day 51. Very excited. Really excited for everything that I have in the works. Stream Deck Day, either the 15th or the 17th. I have to double check with Doc. Let me see. Let me look at a calendar. So the 15th is a Sunday. I think it's actually the 15th. I remember me and Doc were talking about it being on a Sunday. It's either the 15th or the 17th. But basically, the 3rd week in May. In Ecamm, I'll be doing, I don't want to say takeover. You can add English captions. I guess I can add, we can add English captions when we do it, right, Dr. Elo? But on the 15th, that's kind of why I'm doing the mini master classes, because I'm doing a takeover for the 5-year Stream Deck anniversary. And we're going to do some really cool stuff in Ecamm with the Stream Deck plugin and how you can really maximize your workflow and content creation process with the Stream Deck and Ecamm and all of the plugins that we use, right? Because we all use Zoom with Ecamm. We all use other plugins like our smart devices and things like that. So I'm really excited for that. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I scheduled out the next 3 days. So tomorrow will be at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow's the last day for 9 o'clock. And then I'm going to drive home on Thursday afternoon. And on Thursday, we will be back to regular scheduled programming at 7 o'clock. And on Sunday, the live stream will be regular. I'll probably be tired because on Sunday, it's the TD Bank 5-Borough Bike Tour that RK3 and I are going to be doing together. Still got to figure out the logistics. He just got his package today. So really excited for that 40 miles. I mean, I'm a little anxious about the 40 miles, but I'm excited. That's this Sunday coming up. Kick off the cycling season for me. All right, you guys. I will catch you guys mañana. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Really appreciate the support. I will talk to you guys later. Hey, what happened here? Oh, that's a blank scene. There you are. And let me not forget that the camera, the wide camera here. So leave that there. Because like yesterday, totally forgot. Although here, oh, I did. Did I change that 40? No, it's 51 days to go. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Oh, there. No, it was 49. See, I did this all wrong. I'm all over the place. Just end the stream, India. That's what that is. In the dark. In the dark.